You are operating with your emotional gates left wide open. The world, and the toxic individuals in it, have learned that you are a puppet. They know which strings to pull. A condescending remark from a boss, a backhanded compliment from a so-called friend, a sneer from a stranger, and immediately, a surge of anger or a wave of shame takes over your mind, dictating your actions. Your ambition, your focus, the very fire you need to build your life, is instantly hijacked. You spend hours, even days, replaying their words, stewing in resentment, your precious energy bleeding out over an insult that should have been insignificant. This is the weakness society cultivates in you. It profits from your reactivity. It wants you outraged, defensive, and emotionally volatile, because a mind that cannot regulate its own weather is a mind that is effortlessly controlled. What if I told you there was another way? That the most powerful emperor in history, a man who faced daily betrayal, incompetence, and war, engineered a method not just to endure disrespect, but to metabolize it, to use it as fuel. He forged a dark, potent rule for transforming the poison of insult into the raw material of empire. This is not about growing thicker skin. This is a masterclass in forging an untouchable soul. For where we forge that soul and reclaim your power, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what you are about to learn will change everything. The epidemic of the fragile ego. Look around. You are living in an age of profound emotional fragility. We project carefully curated images of success and strength, but underneath lies a terrifying vulnerability. We had become a generation of emotional hemophiliacs. The smallest paper cut of criticism can cause us to bleed out. The reason for this is simple. You have outsourced your self-worth. You have handed the keys to your own value over to the chaotic, unpredictable court of public opinion. Your sense of self is no longer an internal fortress, built from the stone of your own character. It has become a flimsy structure built on the unstable ground of other people's validation. This is why an insult today is perceived as an existential threat. It is a public notification that the identity you have constructed is a fraud, and your reaction is primal. You either lash out in rage, a desperate attempt to defend the crumbling walls of your ego, or you retreat into shame, turning the anger inward where it corrodes your confidence. Both paths lead to absolute powerlessness. Both reactions prove the insulter right. They demonstrate that another person has total command over your internal state. They press a button and you perform exactly as intended, a pawn in their game, your peace sacrificed for their fleeting sense of superiority. This is the vulnerability that keeps you small. This is the cage you have built for yourself, and it is time to break it, the Emperor's forge. Now, strip away the marble busts and the sanitized philosophy. Picture a man on the frozen banks of the Danube, surrounded by mud, blood, and disease. This is Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome. He is not a comfortable academic. He is a commander-in-chief in the midst of a brutal, decade-long war. His days are a grim calculus of logistics, battle, and survival. But Gaspropsation force for Wag 1, Back 4, Bafperlitvisiv before, senators plot against him. His own wife is the subject of rumors. His heir, Commodus, is showing signs of becoming a monster. He is confronted daily with disrespect in its most lethal forms, the arrogance of subordinates, the veiled contempt of rivals, the constant threat of mutiny and betrayal. He possessed the absolute power to have any man who offended him executed on the spot. And what does he do? He does something far more radical than unleash his rage. He retreats into himself. He picks up a pen and writes, not for an audience, but for himself, in the journals that would become the Meditations. He understood a profound truth. The chaos of the battlefield was nothing compared to the chaos that could erupt within his own mind. The true war was against his own reactivity, his own anger, his own fear. He realized his power as an emperor was meaningless if he was a slave to his own emotions. You have power over your mind, not its side events, he wrote. Realize this, and you will find strength. This was not a pleasant aphorism. It was a brutal, pragmatic survival strategy. He understood that a rude, dishonest, and jealous people were an inescapable part of the human condition, so prepared himself to face them. This philosophy, Stoicism, was not a passive acceptance of suffering. It was an active, aggressive system for alchemizing the worst parts of life into the very things that make you stronger. The forge of adversity, stories of unbreakable wills. This mental alchemy is a timeless principle. The greatest figures in history have demonstrated it. They are the modern emperors of their own destiny, who faced unimaginable disrespect and used it as a foundation for their greatness. Consider Nelson Mandela. Imprisoned for 27 years, he was subjected to a systematic, daily campaign of dehumanization, stripped of his name, given a number, salted with racial slurs. A lesser man would have been consumed by a bottomless well of hatred, but Mandela used those decades of isolation as a crucible. He refused to let their disrespect define his internal state. He understood that bitterness was a poison he would be drinking himself. When he emerged, he carried no chains of resentment. He had transformed their hatred into the raw material for justice and reconciliation. Think of Malala Yousafzai, shot in the head by the Taliban for believing girls deserved an education. This was the ultimate act of disrespect, an attempt to physically erase her voice, but they failed. The violence meant to silence her became the platform from which she would speak to the entire world. She took their violent hatred and transformed it into a global movement, winning a Nobel Peace Prize. They tried to bury her. They did not realize she was a seed. Look at J.K. Rowling, a single mother on welfare, receiving 12 rejections from publishers. 12 times, the world told her that her passion was worthless. This is the quiet, soul-crushing disrespect of indifference. She could have accepted their verdict. Instead, she used each rejection as another layer of armor, persisting out of a stoic refusal to let others define her worth. She built a literal empire from the bricks of their rejection. Each of these individuals, in their own way, understood the emperor's secret. They faced disrespect in its most extreme forms and made a choice. They chose not to be harmed. They instinctively understood that the insult was not a verdict on their value, but an opportunity, the raw material for building an empire of character. The dark rule revealed. You have seen the proof. The problem is not the insult. The problem is your reaction. The power lies not in their words, but in what you choose to do with them. For centuries, men have pursued the fool's errand of the perfect comeback, still admitting that an insult demands a response. The emperor's path is darker, simpler, and infinitely more powerful. It is not an external action. It is an internal declaration of sovereignty. When the moment strikes, when the betrayal stings, you must not react. You must train yourself to stretch that fraction of a second into a deliberate pause. Take one slow, measured breath. In that sacred pause, you will recite the dark rule. This is your shield. This is the blade that severs the strings of the puppet master. Your words weigh you down. My virtue builds my empire. Say it again to yourself. Feel the shift in power. Let us dissect this weapon. Your words weigh you down. This first clause performs a critical act of psychological reframing. The insult is no longer an arrow they have shot into you. It is a heavy, filthy stone they have chosen to carry. Their negativity, their bitterness, their insecurity, it all belongs to them. It is their burden. Their attempt to disrespect you says nothing about you, everything about their own internal chaos. You are not the target of their weakness. You are merely a witness to it. You see them not with anger, but with a detached pity. The weight is theirs, and theirs alone. My virtue builds my empire. The second clause is the pivot to absolute power. While they are sinking under the weight of their own ugliness, you are actively engaged in construction. This is the dark alchemy. Every single insult becomes a resource. Every sneer is a brick. Every cutting remark is mortar for your fortress. Or pumusperbs plops the mers, or discipline, your ambition, your focus, your peace of mind. This rule transforms you from a passive target into an active opportunist. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. The best revenge is to profit from their weakness, to build your success on the very ground they try to burn. Wielding the weapon, a practical guide. Understanding the rule is one thing. Wielding it as an instinct is another. This requires training. It begins with the sacred pause. The moment an insult is delivered, your primitive brain screams for a reaction. You must master this impulse. Freeze. Breathe. This 1-second gap is not hesitation. It is the ultimate display of psychological dominance. It is where you reclaim your freedom. Next, the internal recitation. In the space created by your pause, you say the words to yourself. Your words weigh you down. My virtue builds my empire. Feel the transfer of weight. Visualize the insult as a heavy stone dropping onto their shoulders. Then, visualize yourself laying another perfect brick in the wall of your empire. From this state of mind flows the virtuous action. Often, this is the paradoxical power of inaction. Your response now comes from a place of calm authority, not wounded reactivity. The most devastating response to a disrespectful person is a quiet, unnerving silence. A steady gaze that communicates, your words have no power here. You deny them the emotional reaction they crave. Their power evaporates. Finally, you must engage in the daily ritual. Start your day like Marcus Aurelius, reminding yourself that you will encounter arrogant, jealous, and surly people. This is not pessimism. It is strategic preparation. In the evening, reflect on any moment of disrespect. Did you apply the rule? If you failed and reacted with anger, do not judge yourself. Analyze it. Every encounter is a sparring session for your soul, a chance to practice being unshakable. Conclusion: the world will never stop testing you. People will always try to diminish you, to pull you down, to steal your peace. You are faced with a fundamental choice. You can continue to be puppet, your ambition held hostage by your own reactivity, or you can choose the emperor's path. You can make the radical decision that disrespect is no longer a wound, but a resource to be exploited. You can see every insult as a gift, a free brick for your empire. The power was never theirs to take. It was always yours to give away. It is time to take it back. This rule, your words weigh you down, my virtue builds my empire, is your declaration of sovereignty over your own mind. You are the emperor of your inner world. You are the architect of your own character. Now go. Face the world not as a potential victim, but as a builder. Let them throw their stones. You know exactly what to do with them. Your training begins now. If you are ready to build your empire, hit that subscribe button and join this community of builders who refuse to be controlled. Then go to the comments section and declare your new path by writing, "I am the Emperor of One from my end." Take this first step. Make this declaration. And if you know someone who is still in chains, share this message with them. Together, we rise. Now go and build your empire.